What is vulnerable mission? In a way, vulnerable mission is a normalization. It is a way mission has been done for centuries and continues to be done in many parts of the world. It refers to an understanding of mission that embraces weakness and tries to avoid being in power. In the Alliance for Vulnerable Mission, we attempt to follow Jesus' example, who emptied himself, Paul, who declared that weakness is strength, or many other instances in the scripture where God did not use what seemed to be powerful in worldly terms to achieve his goals. For the AVM, this translates into two simple principles. 1. Use the language of the people being reached. 2. Conduct ministry using only locally available resources. This vulnerable approach to mission we find to be at odds with how mission is often practiced, particularly when people from Western countries serve in the majority world. The enormous present-day economic imbalance, combined with the communications and technological revolution, greatly empowers Western people. Add to that the dominance of global languages, especially English, at the expense of local ways of communicating. Contextualization of the gospel and the creation of sustainable, self-reliant local expressions of church are thus made very difficult. No wonder when scholars and laymen alike accuse Christian mission of being a child of colonialism. The Alliance for Vulnerable Mission tries to counter such dependency on outsiders or neo-colonialist practices by advocating for a radically different way of doing ministry. Language learning, ideally in community, is regarded as key. It is a humbling experience, including being laughed at and corrected, even by children. It forces a foreign missionary to reconsider their message in their new linguistic cultural context. It forces a healthy delay between entry to the field and serious ministry engagement. It builds appreciation and trust with locals through avoiding translation gaffes and fine-tuning with the local context. It means that ministry engaged in can put down deep local roots. We encourage missionaries to restrict themselves to using only the resources at the disposal of the people they want to serve. Thus, by default, as well as by design, their ministry comes to be sustainable under indigenous economic conditions. Vulnerable missionaries lead by example and try avoiding creating material incentives for the reception of the gospel. They may be dependent on outside support for their livelihood, but see even that as potentially reducing their legitimacy for working in the local community. The vulnerable mission method is not simple, uncontroversial, or politically naive. It can be intimidating to those whose ministries are heavily rooted in financial subsidy and European languages. Many people, including missionaries, prefer not to be vulnerable. Many in the majority world prefer a missionary to come loaded with money instead of trying to level with them. Many African countries especially have invested heavily in European languages at the expense of local languages. Some people consider globalization to be such that a vulnerable missionary's task is impossible. Unprotected by a cocoon of linguistic and financial superiority, vulnerable missionaries can find themselves under attack from many quarters. On the other hand, vulnerable missionaries are much less likely to offend through their actions than are those using foreign finances and languages in their ministry. Vulnerable mission is freedom. Minimizing one's power means that less people get upset over the actions of a vulnerable missionary. Instead, ministries can be practiced and honed to local conditions. Vulnerable mission needn't be an exclusive alternative to more conventional mission strategies. It can run in parallel with them, given sufficient care to the relationship between the two. But we believe that the current globalizing scene makes conscious vulnerable mission on the part of the West more and more of a necessity for the sake of the future of the worldwide church and to be a part of God's plan.